I only cooked 2 pounds. I hope it's enough.
You know, we went to church all the time. I grew up in a great family. I don't think I could ask for anybody better to be parents, you know. And when I went to USC, I didn't do any drugs. I didn't do anything. So like,
what's your good point?
And then I got to a point where I actually tried steroids. I tried Winstrol, which is injections.
You injected a needle in yourself?
It's just in the muscle.
Yeah, because you get to a point where you're like, I'm kind of getting out of shape. I don't feel like I used to. The reason I stopped doing it was because I thought it was immoral. I thought it was so wrong, and like, what if my parents found out I did this?
I think it's really hard to hear that you tried them and everything, but
for you, it's not hard for me.
What I'm saying is that it's hard to hear it. And what about Mark? I mean, how come you're staying big but you're not getting fat? Like, you're just all...
I'm getting fatter.
No, your face is rounder than normally.
I put on body fat.
You're about 7 or 8% higher than you normally are, wouldn't you say, for how much heavier you are?
I have no idea. I don't really care either.
He's already married. He doesn't care.
Except Smelly's not saying anything. Don't let your brothers overrun your conversation.
When you get caught with something, I think the truth is always the fastest way out of the situation. But it's not always the best way out.
You know, she's concerned, just being a mom, and she's just trying to, you know, leave it open where I could say, yeah, you know what, I do them, and this is why. And I think that's what she's looking for. But she still never directly asked me, so until that time comes, I ain't saying nothing.
People have a tendency to cheat at everything, and that happens with taxes too, just like it could with steroids or any other thing. It's human nature, you know, it's the sinful nature of man.
My dad convinced Mad Dog and his wife to settle down in Poughkeepsie, and he's been doing income taxes for the same guys he used to wrestle with.
I keep a couple things around, not too much. Big John always keeps it real. This just says, to Mad Dog, thanks for everything.
Not exactly how he thought his life would turn out.
I get up, I go to the office, you know, I make money for them, I make money for me. I got a great wife, I got a great family. But I wanted to be a famous wrestler, and you know, but you know, I wanted to live the life. I wanted to be on the road, traveling, you know, meeting people, making money, having fun, you know, living the life.
He'll break down and he'll be crying and he'll say, like, you know, Dad, the biggest fear I ever had in my life is being an average Joe, and I'm 36 years old, and that's all I can see for myself.
What do you want to do now? Like, where do you see yourself going?
I mean, you know, the immediate goal is to, you know, get out of Poughkeepsie, move to California, establish my name, and you know, and then start my own business eventually.
It seemed like he was making good progress, okay, but he wasn't making any progress. I told him the other night, I said, you might be fooling everybody else, but you're not fooling me. You're full of shit. You're still on stuff.
Why do you think he wouldn't tell us about it? He tells me everything else, you know, that he's done.
I think he's partially embarrassed, and I think he's that's part of the addictive behavior. His thing is this: I'm going to be fine as soon as I'm out of here. I'm going to go live in California. My life is going to be perfect. But if he really believes that, no, he's not going to be fine at all. Here's why. You know who I feel bad for? I feel bad for Nadine. Because here's a young girl who's married, whose hopes and dreams and life is in him, and he's a screw-up. And if he ends up overdosing and killing himself, or if he ends up on the rocks, he's taking her with him. I'm not moving out there with the hopes and dreams of, you know, I'm not going to go wait tables and hope I'm going to be an actor. I already did that for 15 years with wrestling.
You're going to get noticed?
I'm not moving out there to get noticed, but you're never going to get noticed in Poughkeepsie. In Hollywood, you're walking down the street, somebody sees you, hey, you got a minute? You never know. You just never know.
You don't think there's any way you can get past it?
A miracle. I'm serious. Yeah, I think they're going to find him dead someday.
I thought bringing up boys, this is easy. They don't. At least I don't have a daughter who's like got her face in the bowl throwing up. You know, did I do something as a mother to make you feel like not good enough? When Mike went off to college and he calls your father up and says, "Can I try steroids?" No, you're not getting money to try steroids. You know, we both thought that was like a crazy thing. So.
But do you know where he ended up getting them from?
No, but I wasn't going to.
He got them from your brother John.
No.
So that's, I mean, it's something that's like, you know, in our family. I mean, it's something that like, you know, when
Chris, you're already killing me with this as it is.
well, I'm
Just
telling-
gets worse.
I'm just telling you the truth.
I'm just trying to tell you how I feel as a mother. I am broken to my soul. My heart is broken. When you were growing up, Hulk Hogan, look what he's saying. Take your vitamins, say your prayers, and what?
Believe in yourself.
Yeah, but it's not true.
I started working
Take
out.
your steroids, okay? I don't know if he ever prays or not. Never heard him, heard him talk about God in his whole life, okay? Now that time has gone by, I'm like, is this guy a fraud? And that's where I think that everybody needs to begin to accept. I am who I am, said Popeye the Sailor Man. He even was a gyp.
You had to take spinach.
He had to take spinach. Everybody needs something. I mean, what's up with that?
If I just accept who I am right now, isn't that just giving up?
No, accept who you are as a person. Then your body image is something different. You think a fat person hasn't tried everything that's legal? But I'm not going to cross the line. The Bible lays everything out about how to live your life.
But the Bible can't solve all your problems.
It can.
I can't pray to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's not going to happen.
No, you can't pray to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger, but neither can you take enough steroids or enough human growth hormone to look like him
But
either.
you can get as close as
You're not. It's not going to happen. You're fearfully and wonderfully made. Every sinew in your body, every muscle, every fiber was made by God, and you're exactly who He intended you to be. And so what to somebody with a six-pack of abs? Maybe they don't have what you have. I mean, you know, why don't you ever think that way too? What I don't get is why did our boys not feel that they were good enough?
My father or my grandfather never worried about whether they had a six-pack of abdominals or what percentage body fat they had. So why is it now, you know, in the 21st century that there's this huge preoccupation with body image that just didn't exist before?
Dr. Harrison Pope is a psychiatrist who studies why American men are becoming more obsessed with their bodies.
So here we have G.I. Joe from the 1960s. This is when he first came out at the time of the Vietnam War. He's a perfectly normal-looking dude. Here is G.I. Joe from about 10 years later, from the mid-1970s.
He's got abs now.
He's clearly been putting in some time in the gym. And then here is G.I. Joe from the 1990s. Bicep is up to 16 inches or so. Full six-pack of abs. Even got serratus muscles visible on the side. This evolution in the action figures is a testimony to this increased preoccupation with body image that we've been seeing in the United States. And it's funny that in our culture that we still tend to romanticize steroids to a certain way. That you'll see an ad for some SUV, you know, that says, "This is our sedan on steroids." But you wouldn't see an ad for an SUV saying, "This is our sedan on cocaine."
Well, it's sort of like a golf cart on steroids.
It looked like an easy bake oven on steroids.
It's sort of the economy on steroids.
Think of it as Apollo on steroids.
This year, the jet stream has really been on steroids. Kosovo would be Bosnia on steroids.
Adding more U.S. trainers and advisors, essentially putting the current strategy on steroids.
We are besieged every day with images of muscular male bodies on TV, in the movies, in cartoons, on magazines at the checkout counter in the department store, you know, all of which seem to give this message that a real man is big and muscular.
There you go, just like that. Good, give me some good abs, Christian. That's it.
I saw Conan the Barbarian when I was 11. And at that moment, I said, that's exactly what I want to do. And I started to study Arnold and his achievements. So I started training with weights when I was 14. I started taking steroids when I was 16.
So you're advertising a supplement. So a guy like me goes and looks in the magazine, and I see Christian Boving, and I'm like, wow, man, I want to look like that guy. So I go and take Hydroxycut or some supplement because I think that I'm going to look like you. But what I don't know is that you were taking steroids. Do you have any problem with that?
That's a double-edged sword, my friend. How to answer that?